Just waiting for, there it is. It's loaded up. So I've been busy building stuff in the end, but we have to make sure that it survives the dragon. Because there's more we want to do, but there's no point doing stuff that's in jeopardy of being just wiped out. Come on, game, let me in. Alright. We are here underneath the dragon spawning area, probably quite a ways. Well, we got everything we need. Dragon's actually pretty easy to kill. But accidents do happen. So we're not gonna need that. Keep this, won't need that, won't need that. Don't think we'll need those. Alright. Now I do like to mine the obsidian pillars for obsidian. And every time you resummon the dragon, the pillars are renewed. So this is something that can happen. As one prank I did, took 6 shulker boxes of obsidian, which was most of my obsidian store. And you can see I use obsidian for other builds. But we want to see, the face should be far enough away that it doesn't get hit. And these, I don't know. I think they're okay, and that's why I built them where I did. See the pillars return. Okay. And we won't even bother trying to shoot the dragon or anything just yet. It's been a while. Okay. There's one way over there I don't think we can reach. I think they made it darker of all the dragons here. Okay, that is enough to start beating the dragon with, but let's just do this one as well. Fine, we won't do that one. Okay, he's only got the one crystal left in the cage. We'll let him keep that. Got really dark because like these are normally lit up with other lights. Just throwing arrows at random at them. Okay, now the great news is all the construction is untouched, and that's what this test was all about. Hey, Mr. Ron Wayne. Nice to meet you, Pilgrim. Hope the day's been good to you. So, the fight's not much to see, especially after I've done it so many bloody times, and so has every other YouTuber out there. But the important thing is that everything I've constructed is far enough away that fighting the dragon destroyed nothing. Everything's right where I left it. But you don't know until you know, and we had to test that. Because the end dragon won't destroy obsidian, he won't destroy end stone, but he will destroy end stone bricks. He will destroy sea lanterns and the other stuff. But the fight took place well within. It's just one of those things. You don't know until you know, and now we know. Because I've also had it where I got knocked down in the past, and the bloody dragon did sweep in and destroy part of the beacon pyramid. So like if the dragon's flying around, this is not a safe place, but it's far enough away from her that it's safe when she's not alive. So I'll give you a quick sneak peek on, well, I'm thinking Wednesday for an episode. At the end base, I added a purple font. You know, all the chorus flowers and chorus plants that grow in the end here. Well, there's a bit of a trick to growing them. And when you know the trick, it's super simple to build the font. But I might as well show you. Whee! Okay. Okay. So these are chorus plants, right? And you knock them down, you can get chorus fruit. Like we'll chop this little guy. These grow all over the place in the end. Right? There's the fruit on top. If you want to harvest that to be plantable, you got to use shears on it. Take out the plant, it all falls down, you get a little bit of fruit. Okay. The fruit you can put into a furnace, and then it becomes popped chorus fruit. Popped chorus fruit, you can turn them into purple blocks. Groups of 4, but it's a 1-to-1 ratio. Don't know why that fruit's there, but so this is a wall of water that's in there, and when I flip a lever, sticky pistons will cause these blocks to go up and down, release the water, which automatically harvests all the blocks. I'll show that to you now. So I made it big enough to do more. This is just the simple collection system. I like this system. It's just a line of hoppers, but I zigzag it. So whatever you put up here 2 bars. That will zigzag through all the chests, and everything gets pushed down to the bottom. You know when you've got a whole bunch of chests and somebody takes something out of the middle, and you've got one gap in the middle? Frickin' drives me nuts. So this way, everything always gets pushed to the bottom. Right? Anyway, it costs hoppers, but it cleans up the storage system so much. Okay, when the power's on, the pistons are extended. Turn the power off. The pistons contract. The water's released. Knocks down all the purpur plants, chorus plants. And the water stream knocks all the purpur into the middle, where the collection system is. Okay. Now we can turn the water back off. These, there's sticky pistons under here, raising and lowering these blocks. And you have to plant on end stone. So I just left spaced out specifically the end stone blocks where you plant chorus plants. What are you looking at? Don't look at me. I'm mad when you look at me. Oh, another one. Okay. So all those chorus plants, they come through the system, get pushed down to the bottom, and all collected form. Okay, now we need some shears. I'm very serious. I have an enchanted pair of shears at my base. Actually, they're right in here. Might as well use them. There it is, edge shearing. Unbreaking, silk touch, mending, efficiency 5. Okay, so we got edge shearing here. These haven't fully grown, but we'll take one out just to show you. Now the way these guys work, you see the shears give you coarse fruit blocks. These are the ones you can plant, these ones you can eat. They're not the same. It's from the same plant though. Okay. So you have to plant the coarse block onto end stone. And then it needs a, if you just leave it a 2 block gap, and it needs a hole in the middle. If there's no hole in the middle, it won't work. But it grows fairly quickly. And then just goes into the 4 side shoots. Now you can't bone meal it or anything to make it fast. Yes, sheerly. The sheer magnitude of what we're doing today. It's very serious. So if you leave them alone, each of these will grow into 4 stems, right? It'll grow up one, it'll keep the blossom at the top, and then it'll push out to all the sides. Like you can see this guy here has got, 3 out of the 4 of them popped out. See, up it comes, and then it'll go outwards, and when it goes outwards, if it's just one, it looks like that, but it'll branch off all 4 directions. And this apparatus will make it that it doesn't grow anymore. It's random after this, but the first step, that's a controlled build on how the plant will grow. And there's no way to accelerate it, unfortunately. The flaming guy's mad. He's so mad because I set him on fire. Go figure. So anyway, we'll just accelerate this along. It's the best way to do is just do whatever building or whatever else you're. What do you want? They can't touch me in the water. Water's like fire to them. It's like lava. So anyway, the most efficient way is just leave the farm alone. It takes time. Let it grow all of its stems. And then when they're all ready, just go through and collect them. And after you collect them, these won't grow anymore. You'll have to knock them down and replant. Now that being said, like let's say it had 2 stems here, and I chopped off 2. I do believe these other 2 sides will still grow, or at least one of them will. You see, like some of them have stubs, and the other ones are smooth. I don't know the exact mathematics to it. It'll work, but it's also more efficient just to chop it down and plant a new one. That guy will leave alone. But you see, that gives us the planting fruits. Oops, accidentally taking out blocks, don't want to do that. Yep. Oh, darn it. Okay. You can see even breaking these 2 little stems, sometimes you get a piece of fruit out of it. Sure. So I recommend an iron farm to be one of the first farms that you ever build anywhere, because you use iron for so many things. Like I use a ton of hoppers, and every hopper requires iron. See, they're growing away. Grow, grow, grow. And always remember, they need that little gap in the middle or this thing doesn't work. Now we got 16 of these left over, which is not enough for this, but we'll plant what we have and just let it grow. Basically it's diagonal, 1 space between each. So we've got roughly 2.5 stacks. 32 would be a half stack. We'll call this roughly 2.5 stacks of chorus fruit from the water mechanism. So the chorus fruit, you throw in a furnace and it turns into pop chorus fruit. You can eat the chorus fruit as is, which will give you some health and teleport you in the direction you're facing. So like I'm facing that way. If I eat some chorus fruit, oh look, I teleport. Anyway. So yeah, here I had some chorus fruit cooking. And we'll just start cooking some more in here. Bump, bump. So these chests are just filled with lava. Lava buckets. Right? Lava buckets go into the system. And there's a chain of hoppers behind, which feeds all of these. So there's a whole lot of lava sitting in storage just waiting to be used. But every time one gets used up, it just takes it out of the feed system and keeps it going. So technically I could load up all these chests with stuff and I could do thousands of smelts just by sitting AFK here. And I won't sit AFK here, I'll sit AFK in the middle where my shulker box machine is. And I'm going to add more farms to the other outside areas. So yeah, popped chorus fruit. There's two things that you can make with popped chorus fruit of interest. Okay, I don't have a... what do you call the box you make everything off of? Crafting table. Don't have one on me because it's in storage because I didn't want the dragon to frickin' throw it into the void. Okay, so the chorus fruit. The two things you can make with chorus fruit that are interesting are purple blocks, right? 4 popped chorus fruit makes 4 purple blocks. So like, it's a 1-to-1 ratio. So I've got 43, I can make 40 more, so that'll be 44 total. There, 44 total, with 3 left over. And that's where purple blocks come from. Yeah, should throw that in the furnace too. The other thing you can make are end rods, and you don't need a workstation for these things. Right here I am, just staying in the middle of nowhere. Right? Pop chorus makes purple blocks, and a pop chorus plus a blaze rod makes end rods. The glowing rods. I don't think I have any. Oh, I know where. Anyway, I'm sure you've seen end rods before, but that's how they're made. Pop chorus plus the blaze rods from the nether, flaming little guys that run around. Okay. I think we can put Ed Sheeran away for now. Oops. And we'll just throw this chorus fruit into the furnace with the other stuff. Furnace is on the bottom level. Okay. So 64 plus 36 is 100. 100 is what 1 bucket of lava will smelt. Just throw that one in there. Each bucket of lava smelts 100. And of course, more lava being produced. There's 64 lava wells here. It's another one, it just takes time. Automatically does it itself. Ooh, yeah, the game's a lot more fun. And on hard mode, the hostiles get armor and stuff that they can drop. It's like everything. If you push yourself, you will perform. If you never push yourself, you're never going to get better. Okay. So that kind of brings you up to speed to where I am now. And the next build that I really want to work on, which is going to take probably more than one episode. Couldn't get a start. Yeah. So my whole thing is that hey Ron, what do you play on? You play on your Xbox or what? So anyway, the fountains. I need a source for the fountains, and I was thinking, what kind of statue or anything am I going to make? PlayStation 5. Okay, so I play Bedrock on a computer, but I think I'm compatible to play with you cross-platform. I am Mr. McSquare 1119. I think there's a space in between here. Anyway, if you want to throw me a friend invite, I'm happy to join a world with you. Just will help you get established. I find the most important thing you got to get when you start off is a bed, right? And the easiest way to get a bed is if you find a village. But if you don't find a village, beat up sheep, of course, and grab some flowers. Because with flowers you can make dye, and then whatever color wool you get off a sheep, you just dye them all the same color and make a bed. Everything's easy after you have a house. The other thing I do is you notice the coordinates on the screen. I play with coordinates turned on, so I can always find my way home. And when I get a world that doesn't spawn at 0, I start a new world. I like my spawn to be at 0, so that I know how to find my way home. Otherwise, you got to write it down and remember where the heck home is. So this level here is going to be the source of the fountains, right? You can see there's water down below, and I want a waterfall to go through that level below. Start just a little bit above, go through this level, through the level below, and into the pool that's on the main level. But I needed to think, what on earth is going to be the statue? Like, am I going to have mermaids or seashells, or like what's going to be the fountain to start it off? And then I thought, geez, I really wanted to make a musical organ room, right? So on this level, the idea is that I'm going to put on note blocks, right? And note blocks change what noise they make based off of what block they're on top of. So wool blocks play guitar. Yep. So, okay. So every time you beat this thing with your hand, you can see or hear that the pitch changes, and there's a color that corresponds with the pitch. And why, yes, we're going to use certain colors for certain pitches so that we can play proper guitar notes. But once you got your things selected, like we'll put it to anyway, we'll just leave it there, and then when we hit the button, it always plays the same note. If I beat the box, beatboxing, ha ha ha, it changes, right? So I'm going to put a button next to a little piece of redstone dust, because if I miss the button and I accidentally hit the box, it's going to change the pitch. So, like, put the button back just. Whoops. And if you put a monster head on them, it'll make the monster sound. So it's going to be button redstone line so that I don't accidentally hit the box, right? And then it'll play the note. And the corresponding color of note will have the correct color wall with it as well. So I'm going to push buttons. It'll play the notes. And then, you know, the geysers? Every time you hit a note, a geyser's going to go off with a light behind it, which will be the same color as the wool blocks. And you can sit in the middle and play a tune. Like when you hit red block, red fountain goes off, blue fountain goes off, yellow fountain goes off, orange fountain goes off. And the fountains will look like they are the feeding source for the waterfall that goes down. So where's the water come from? It comes from the music we're playing. So because redstone lines take up space, there'll have to be a raised platform up here with lines coming out. So this floor will be thicker because I'm going to have to hide redstone lines to fountains and geysers. And there's a way to set it up that the geyser and the light turn on and off when it receives a signal. So when I push any one button, two things are going to happen. So this will be the music room. And then above that's going to be a library. But we're not there yet. We're not there yet. There's still so much to do below. But the next big project is this floor, fountains / music room. That could take more than one episode. So today, I've got the nice little purple. Even though purple and yellow are freaking ugly colors, because they're end colors, it looks like it belongs. Right? Like there's a. Let's see, out this direction is an end city. Yeah, these are the natural buildings out here, right? Which are an eyesore, but you can't miss them. And so if they're going purple and yellow, fine, my fortress is mostly yellow. With purple. So the purple and yellow is actually appropriate. And, you know, purple's kind of purple and purple, purple, purple. And this level immediately below, it's, again, everything's a work in progress until it's done, right? It's going to be open terrace with the tower starting to get smaller. But as it comes in, there'll be platforms. Like, I think the level below is where I'll have happy gas ports. And then the happy gas can take off in each of the directions. Or land in each of those directions. And for the size of it, if I just put like 2 in each of these segments, that's 16 frickin' happy gas. And there happens to be 16 colors, so I can give each happy gas a different color hat. And that'll be the happy gas layer there. Level. And then like each of these floors is 30 high, so I can make a raised platform where the happy gas are, suspended by black pillars, and then giant pillars on the outside. But of course I've got to get more end stone, which is all over the place, but you gotta go dig up the stuff, collect it. Blah blah blah, Minecraft. Okay. So dragon test is complete. Let's go get our gear back. Okay. It's loading in, but now that we also know that all these like all these portals are open, each time you kill a dragon, one of them opens up. And I made a obsidian platform, which I knew the dragon won't eat obsidian, but it will eat endstone blocks. But I know it's safe enough away that when I have spare time, all these portals, I can put this platform construction, I can copy it and put it to each of the platforms. And then each of the platforms has the coordinates it goes to. And then on the other side, I don't remember if I put the coordinates or not. And of course the obsidian pillars are back if I want to mine them out and prank somebody. Pretty sure Crazy Savage is just going to keep the Enderman that's stealing his house. Okay. There's Shirley, or Yelrith. Okay. What the fudge was I doing again? Just sidetracked myself. Oh yes, I was getting my gear back. So whenever you use a rocket, it does a little bit of wear and tear to your elytra. But when you just jump and hit glide, there's no wear and tear that happens. Oops. Can't use beds in the end, but you do use beds if you want to use villagers in the end. Take this stuff with us. It's all just mapping stuff. So as you can see, this room is intended to be a map room. Maybe I'll map out this square while I'm at it. So the pain in the butt for that is we need an empty map with a compass to turn it into a locator map. And then we need more paper to make the map the proper size. And there's a map cartographer box right there. Okay. So we don't want to activate that just yet, because we want to make sure that we're in the area that we want to turn into a map. So that's the one adjacent to it. Now you can hold two maps at a time. See, the shield's got one and if I right click that map, it'll show two maps. So like, there. Oh look, I can look at two maps at a time and do comparisons and find out where I am and make my mapping adventure easier. Oh, wrong spot? No, that's the right spot because this one goes there. Okay, so I want to be it's a lot of fun. If it wasn't fun, it would be painful. But hey, some people will smoke crack. I play Minecraft. Okay, so I've got the, you can see the yellow road. Follow the yellow brick road. And then I want to be off to the side of it in order to map this area. Best way to get there will be to, okay, I think it's probably going to be teleport first. Yeah. We're here, we're going to teleport to there, and then just hop over to this area. Oh my gosh, and doesn't this game turn you into a hoarder? Oh look, you found a pine cone. Well, don't throw it away, I don't know when I'm going to need a pine cone. Okay, I've got a whole double chest full of pine cones. I don't know if I'm ever going to need these, but I've got them if I ever do. 2 years later, you needed one pine cone. It's like, aha! I told you I didn't throw them away. All right. Now, the good thing about locator maps, of course, is I am the purple dot. And the purple dot in relationship to the map are now over there. Purple dot flipped to the other side. So by holding it in the shield hand, I can also like have rockets ready in my using hand. And then off I go. See, we're on the map. Okay, we're gonna, as soon as we get off the map, we'll activate the new map. Okay, there. Now that's the wrong scale. So I've got to get that to a cartographer box and put it to the same scale as this one. And this is a, see, it says right on it, level 2 out of 4. Level 0 out of 4. It goes 0 for maximum zoomed in. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. So there's 5 levels. Okay. So, ooh, big black map, which is actually useful. Right? Because now what some people do is if you put a glass floor over that black map area, you will see nothing except the void. But then on top of the glass, let's say you use red carpets or something else, you can squiggle a design which will have a blank background. And then when you put that map onto something, you'll just see the squiggle design, you won't even see the background. Which is a trick on how people make like the whole alphabet in signs. They'll do like an A, B, C, D, and then just copy the map. Okay, so level 2 map. We will put you away. There. And then this guy we want to scale up. Map number 243, because I use a lot of maps. Have you seen my map room? So that's level 1. Now it's level 2. And now the level 2 map, we turn into a level 2 locator map with the compass. And then we just take it and we fly over the area in question. And we put that where the shield belongs so that we can operate our rockets with no problem. I always like having a physical, mechanical way of getting to places. Like there's this spiral staircase that goes from the top and bottom. You never know when your elytra's damaged or you're out of rockets or you just screwed up. And you'll notice in my big end base, it's got that super good handy honey elevator, but there's also a staircase. Do you need the staircase? Nope, not at all, but it's there. There's also a lot of space to fill in that base, so making a staircase was alright. Okay, you can see that things are starting to fill in. And now we just gotta fly a few laps. The other thing that's super good about the bridge I built is like, oh, it's void, which way am I facing? It's like, oh, okay, there's my light bridge. I've got a point of reference. Okay, just monitor my height. My height is at 80 something, that's fine. I can see stuff in the background. There's another end base over there. I think the other thing that I want to do is I want to add Crazy Savage's base to the maps. He took the time to make a base. I want to add it to the map system. And I know I haven't shown it to you, but yes, there's a gunpowder farm on the server. Because once you get elytra, man, you go through a lot of gunpowder. It's a lot of rockets. So interesting to note, a gunpowder farm will not work in the end dimension because only endermen spawn around here. And you need creepers or ghasts. I've got a I have a ghast farm. Yeah. I have a ghast farm that in the nether, super easy way to get gunpowder and experience points. But it's an early farm, and then later on when you get more materials you build the automatic farms. Okay. So now with that handy dandy piece of pretty work, we'll go like this and this and this. Oh no, we fell. Oh no. And handy dandy that I lined the platform with lights. Because it all gets pretty dark really fast if there's no lights, man. You can imagine no lights. It's just freaking dark obsidian. Okay, whoop, we're doing this. So now this guy goes here. Doesn't all have to be done in one day, but we're adding to it. And I think Crazy Savage is somewhere around here. I'm just gonna go map that one. And instead of coming all the way back, we'll just take the bloody box with us. Need one of those. One of those. Let's go 2 of those because we're going to try and map on the way back. Okay, that's stackable, but we don't want duplicates, so just an extra step of caution, we're putting them in separate piles. Check how much damage our Elytra has. Lots of Elytra, we're good. More than enough rockets. Junk. I'll put this junk back. Like the bamboo trapdoors and the signs, I just remembered that's for when I make those other raised platforms with the staircase. At the top it's a trapdoor to get in, plus a sign to label where the coordinates are. And of course endstone to turn into endstone bricks to make the stairs, and more obsidian and lights and la 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 la. Yeah. So not 100% certain, but I think it's going to be like this square and this square that fill in for Crazy's base. Should we do it this way? We'll fly out? Yes. We're going to fly out. And for reference, it's a big blank map. Big blank map. Okay, get that out of the way, put that here. So when I get to the edge of the map, I will start a new map. The height is increasing, that middle number, level out on our flight. No point of reference, just darkness. Darkness and coordinates. Imagine if no coordinates are turned on, you wouldn't know how tall, high up in the air you are. You could be hitting the void at any moment. That would suck. We're at a height 160 something because I have no point of reference to know if we're close or not. Okay, we are off the map. New map. And now we're just going to keep going until we find some land. A little bit high. Land should be at height 60-ish. Nothing but darkness. I think the outer islands are around 1,000. Oh, there's stuff. Okay. And a ship. An untapped ship. Whoa, look at this treasure. So these ships that have the dragon's heads on them, right, are where you get the elytras. So there's the elytra mounted right behind them. Don't mind if I do. We'll take a spare one of those, thank you very much. And then check out the loot in these boxes. 19 iron, an enchanted iron pickaxe, efficiency 4, silk touch, and a diamond sword with unbreaking 3. Pretty freaking good. And in the other box, care for 11 diamonds, a bunch more iron, some projectile protection 4, feather falling 4 boots, and an unbreaking 3 silk touch shovel of diamond. Yeah, the end looting, so rich. But it is the scariest area because the void is the void. Oh, and then there's always a potion brewing stand which always has 2 instant healths in it. And of course the ruined stand itself. I'll put some of this away because it's just taking up space. Okay. And then I can hear this guy out here. Okay, these are the end rods I was talking about. Purple, the coarse fruit plus the blaze rods. You can make these end rods. These things, which are a pretty cool light source. So, the way I do it is I crouch. See my little guy in the corner is crouching. So I don't walk off the edge, right? When you're crouching, you don't fall off edges. And then you just keep hitting that headpiece, moving forward and crouching. And then you can have the dragon's head. Now, it's funny too that if you put a dragon's head onto a note block, it'll roar. When you activate its noise, it roars. Okay, I'm not interested in just farming purple. Especially because I have a purple farm. And then inside these structures, you see the squares at the doors at the bottom. Those are shulkers. Yeah, I had to yoink a couple of them to make my shulker farm. It's a pain in the butt. Such a pain in the butt. And inside, treasure chests are like the treasure chests that are in here. They are fat rich. But I don't need any of this stuff. I'm at the level where this is all junk. However, before being at the level where it's all junk, it's freaking super cool loot. A lot of people make the mistake that like, oh, I'm not going to fight the dragon until I have full netherite gear, right? Oh, netherite, 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 netherite. Well, now all the treasures you find are junk compared to what you already own, right? Like, there's trial chambers. Trial chambers will give you some nifty iron items. If you've got diamond already, why are you bothering to do the trial chambers? What are you doing in there? It's junk compared to what you're wearing. You get all kinds of super enchanted diamond gear from this stuff. You get enchanted iron gear from doing raids. People are afraid to punch up. You know, they're always playing it safe, punching down, taking the safe fight. It's a video game. The worst thing that's going to happen is you wake up in your bed. Or fall in the void, and then yeah, you're back at your spawn again. It's all pixel crack. And every time I die, I appreciate how cool my base is. Like if I fell in the void right now and lost all this stuff, it would take me at least 5 minutes to replace it all. Okay, this map we want to turn into level 2 with a compass. Definitely take that back. Okay. So we're still at the edge here. I think we came from this direction. My north-south bearing is a little bit off, but as I told you before, there's certain blocks that if you bring with you, you can tell what direction you're facing. And like a compass always points north, well, not in the end it doesn't. Actually, it might. Nope. It's running me in circles. It won't tell me which way is north. But certain blocks will. Prismarine bricks, they always are placed a certain way. Sunflowers always face east. Little tricks. Okay, so now I want to fully map out this map. And we're going to do that like this. Uh-huh. Make sure our height stays well above 60. Uh-oh, 73. Watch that altitude. Stay on target, Luke. Switched off your targeting computer. Is there something wrong? Okay. The altitude's not changing very fast, which means we're flying somewhat level. If I spike up or down, then the middle number changes quickly. Oh, what a wonderful stream staring off into the void. Oh, isn't it magical? I love having a point of reference. Takes the fear factor right out of it. You hoy to me? The yogurt? So they made a sequel to Spaceballs finally, eh? There's commercials out for it on YouTube. Right, 40, what am I doing? Talking about Spaceballs too much. We were headed this way. And then we'll start another map. Okay, let's just land here where it's nice and easy. Do this. And then a little bit of that. This sucker up. I have to remember to put that back with the maps. Okay. Now, if we're lucky, we'll find Crazy Savage's base on this map. And if we're only somewhat lucky, we'll find his base adjacent to this map. And if we're not lucky at all, we won't see it. Yeah, he's epic. I think I became a Mel Brooks fan with two movies, Blazing Saddles and Mel Brooks' History of the World. Oh. So somewhere in the end or somewhere else I can build a giant frickin' yogurt statue. High Anxiety, that was good. But the two movies that really turned me on to who the heck is Mel Brooks was Mel Brooks' History of the World. His name's right on it. And Blazing Saddles. Like, I think he was also in Victor Victoria and some other really good movies, but So the purple structures you can see on the map, that's the end cities. And I've only got 14 frickin' rockets left. I think I can make it home, but I'm going to make a beeline for home here. Not gonna lie, I don't know if I have enough rockets. Oh, I think I do. I think I get about 300 blocks of travel out of one rocket. And I've only got about 1,000 blocks to go. And we're already in the air, so it'll be fine. Young Frankenstein, another great movie, yeah. Okay, altitude's dropping. But we're only 400 blocks away from the end. Well, from the end gateway. There we go, lots of stuff to see. Could eventually remodel this whole thing so that when you come up to it, it looks like you're coming up to a structure and not an island. Or maybe that'll be next season. Okay. So those are those maps. I don't want to jump in there yet, because that'll take me back to spawn. And of course in my ender chest I've got access to more rockets. Okay, so this was that one, and then this one, and then that one. I'm gonna go just grab some rockets and then we'll get right back to this. Rockets would be in the equipment box. This one. So you can name your shulker boxes. That one's named gear, that one's named trims. This one's not named, it's just its color. But skulk box, trims, gear, money. Oh, I forgot that the white box has a sponge in it. And enchanted books. Oh yeah, the rare books. Okay, some rockets. Don't mind if I do. Spare elytra. I'll just leave that in there. I don't want to lose that. Everything else is junk, so I'll bring it with me. Bum, 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 bum. And of course, like I've got my silk pickaxe. But I've also got silk number 2, silk number 3, silk number 4. My fortune pickaxe, and fortune number 2, fortune number 3, fortune number 4. Okay, mapping. Mapping supplies. That'll do. So, what I'm doing now is, for reference, we'll bring this map. And just throw that in there. And then we'll go through the portal that takes us to Crazy's base. And we'll just see how close those two maps are to each other. We'll map out the square that his base is on. If I'm really crazy, which, well, I've got a touch of, I might, you know that big light highway that goes from the end island to my base? I'll put one north, south, east, and west. But that's only if the other guys really get into building in the end. I think crazy's like, oh, you built in the end there. I built an outpost. Done. Mm, I'm doing a little bit more than that. And you see each of these cardinal directions. I went to the same distance on each of them, which is 100, 99, 100, and then stopped. Because after 100, that's when I stop building with the obsidian and I start building with deep slate, because it's way cheaper and faster and I got way more of it, and obsidian just takes quite a while to get going. But 100 out because, again, fighting I don't have a shield, gotta run into the safety fluid. Haha, you can't touch me, dude. Okay, so there's the platform there I want. See this guy walking the perimeter? He is not happy with me. Yeah, you want to... Thanks for the XP, jackass. Alright. So there I was, continuing on my task. Oh, this here platform in the middle of nowhere. An Enderman is 3 blocks tall. You as a player are 2 blocks tall. So when you fight the dragon, right, made out of endstone, because the dragon won't destroy that, look, the Enderman can't come and hit you, but you can hit him. It's an Enderman shelter for when you're fighting the dragon. I appreciate that both Lawless Bacon and Crazy Savage are very supportive personalities. Very easy to get along with. Okay. So, where's his end base? It's around here somewhere. Looking for... Oh, look at that. A giant Enderman with spaghetti string on his head. I was thinking about giving him a giant yellow helmet. But I thought, nah, just leave it alone. And that being said, I think this defense turret tower at the top does add to the base a bit. Okay. So we're going to do this, and then this, and then that. And flying is just so fast to map everything. Don't have to worry about what the terrain is or anything else, just off you go. So here's another crazy build idea I had for the future. Atlantis taking over. So, you know how you can make water expand? Imagine all the way up to the build height limit, it's just a wall of water that you walk into with conduits for water breathing and stuff at all over the place. But you walk into the realm, and the realm is completely water. And then you can have like whales and other fish and octopus swimming around. And inside the whales and everything is where you'd stick your farms and your buildings. Maybe a coral city at the bottom. Anyway, that's a completely different build concept for a different world some other time. This is Buck Chuckets and Piglins, and I actually have to get back to building the Piglin town in the Nether. Okay. So there's the two maps. Where am I in relation to the other one? Got lots of height to mess around here. Okay. I'm just gonna head back to spawn, I think. Height 300's way too high. Let's go this way. At height 100 I'll pull up. Again, the important number is that middle one. The void's at -40. Game over. Wah, wah, wah. Now really, a point of reference is fine instead of staring at a black screen. Okay, we're getting closer to the center. And thankfully the gateway's at 0, 0, so following coordinates I can find my way in the darkness. Just gotta watch the height. Okay, we got a landmass. We're good. Okay. So his base, I think, is over here, but I could be wrong. I could be wrong, but I think it's there. So the next step is going to be I'm going to bring this map with me and go back to here and then do this square. Elytra's getting beat up. Always keep an eye on that too. Another reason why I'm taking the stairs, it doesn't beat up the Elytra. Or consume your rocket supply. Uh-oh. have to grab the other one to make sure that I don't remap the same square. Speed this along a bit. Okay. Where the fudge are we? Over here. Okay, so that direction, once the dot disappears off the map we're looking at, we'll start the new map. Okay, now on a good note, you see the purple dot on the left map and the purple dot on the right map? They're maintaining the same height in relation to the to each other. Conclusion, we're at the same secondary number. I'm not sure if that's the easting or the northing because Minecraft screws up coordinates pretty good on you. But you see we're just as close to the top of the map on both of them. If I go this way, I should be getting much closer to the other map. And I think as soon as we exit the map on the right, we will be on the map on the left, and if so, that's a success. And there's only one way to find out. You don't know until you know. Yep, success. See, I'm on the left map, and as soon as it comes off there, it'll be back on the right map. We're good. Now I can do this. And I'm way too high in the air, but we're still getting the map done. Aha, we can see ground. And a big old Enderman butt. Not my best work, but it's got good eyes. Okay. And then we will head back to base, which is this way. Okay, that's a horse under him? Oh, yeah, the Ender horse. Oh, oh, I just realized I was at -8. What the fudge? Trying to find my way home with the other coordinates, and I didn't keep an eye on the height. With the point of reference of black, can be a little tricky. See, we're a little bit lower than what we want, but when we come in, we want to land to the bottom of the base anyway. Uh-oh, too high. Okay, that's a good sign. I know where I am now. Luke, you switched off your targeting computer. Is that a problem? Yeah, there's Endermen everywhere. I don't know what's going on, man. And if we really screw up, you can actually fly underneath the base and not touch the void. Okay. So we now have points of reference. There we go. We know what his base is now. But if I build a freaking, like a light bridge going this way and that way and this way, you're still diagonal, Savage. You're still diagonal. What were you thinking? And that's a lot of blocks. Eventually I'll get to it, if they want it. Because then once I get to this point, then I'll build another road coming straight over to his base. But for now, I think that's good enough for the mapping. Did it go in? It just bounced off the outside. The Obsidian Death Star. I need more than a week for that. It's one block. You gotta squint and really use your imagination and make it work. But you could make some pretty planets out there. Or spaceships, a Star Destroyer, the Serenity from Firefly. I'm not a fan of the Millennium Falcon, but a TIE Fighter. Battlestar Galactica and a Cylon base star. Okay. I think it's time to go back to base and do a little bit of inventory stuff. And before I do that, I'll just show you the audio on the Dragon Head. So there's only a limited number of monsters that you can get unless you have mods. And I'm really not a fan of mods, but to each their own. And when you put a mod head on a note block, it plays the mob sound. Good way to freak out your friends. I don't know if you were spectating or not when I was putting warden sensors underneath my neighbors' mailboxes. So that whenever they would walk close to the mailbox, I'm rebuilding Enterprise 10 times bigger. Are you building it to a scale where you could physically walk into the bridge and sit in the captain's chair? The old one was, and you're gonna build this one bigger? No, I think that's the correct scale, dude. You just need to, like, add a Klingon battle cruiser for it to fight or something. Keep it to like the realistic scale. That's got a touch all of its own. Oh, okay, engineering, yeah. That's what I meant though. The scale of the ship would have all the compartments, you know, a turbo lift, the whole bit. That's an ongoing project of love. It also tells me you're a huge Star Trek nerd, which is fun. Okay, so you know there's nothing wrong with you, Ron. You're just not in denial. Fun with note blocks. Okay. If I were to continue on in the end, I would do boring stuff of just building up these pillars. Let's do some inventory management. Unless it's time to get out edge shearing. No, it's not. So these things only grow when there's a player in the vicinity. Okay. Oh, there's my stash of end rods. Those there, and that stuff will bring back. Add those to those. Just building supplies for future projects. Oh yes, potatoes and such. The other build that I've got to come up with soon is if I'm going to add a library, that means I've got to add villagers, right? So there's a couple of villagers that I can make a villager farm with, and they'll breed, be happy, and welcome to the end, that's your new home. But we're also going to zombify the villagers and then cure them so that I get super good discount rates. And that's what the courtyard is going to be all about. It's just breeding zombies, making them zombie sickness, and then curing them. Skulk is excellent, yeah. I use Skulk for stars as well. Have I shown you my map room? Which I should check to see if I need to update it, but I don't think I do. So the map room is just on the other side of the well. Doo, 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 doo. Okay, so I put 2 floors in the map room. One is zoomed into the maximum, and the other floor is zoomed out to the maximum. Welcome home, time to sleep. Okay, that's all half slabbed. This is all half slabbed. I can't sleep here either. I have to sleep down lower. I can sleep in there. Yes, yes. This could be a sleepy place. So this room here, right, it's obsidian for a reason. You might recognize the nether star color pattern there. If I summon the wither, I gotta find the right spot. Okay, if I summon the wither, I don't remember where the spot is. Okay, so there's a spot in here that if I summon the wither, he teleports as soon as he comes in, and then he suffocates to death. I'm pretty sure it's right here. I summon the wither here, right? And then he automatically winds up in here. He suffocates to death. I don't have to fight him at all, and I just collect the nether stars. And because of that, we've got lots of beacons. So that's what this whole room is about. And as he's in there, he's still exploding, right? And this is just outside of his blast radius. That's all good. This is just at the bottom of the world, you know, the part that I dug out. That's the portal to the nether. That's just a cartographer shop for the sake of having a cartographer. And that's spawn max zoomed in, and then at each of the levels that you zoom out. It's all good. His bedroom, his kitchen, his desk, copy of all the things that he sells. And then those decorations, that's stuff that you can get banners from him and those maps, and yeah, just decoration. But there's a cartographer there if we need him. So this is the maximum zoomed in room, and I use sculpt to be stars like you do. I'm gonna put a, I don't know, sword in the middle. So this area here, of course, is spawn 00. This is actually the map room where my green dot is. Right, in the surrounding area. Like this is the big old airship. It's my turtle, my void tree, my other base buildings. The shop actually has a windowed ceiling, so when I put stuff in the different shop blocks, you can see that the blocks have stuff. That's my regenerating magic mushroom, and so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. This one here is Lawless Bacon. This is Crazy Savage. That's Crazy Savage as well. And this is Lawless Bacon, and those are my whales. Out here, that's the Guardian Farm AFK farm. Over here is, oh no, over here is where the entrance to the end is. Right around here. and I've convinced one of the other players to dress up the end entrance as a project. Because right now it's a horrible, stinky, big hole. It needs a building. And then, so we got the starry sky and the solar emblem in the middle. And then when you go upstairs, okay, it's tinted glass and a glass solar emblem for the max zoomed out. And we're in the middle. These are all locator maps as well if I pick them up. Where the heck are we? Oh, here we are. Those green dots. That's where we are at spawn. And yes, I've built things way out here. Oh, it's raining. Okay, I'm gonna put a bunch of stuff away, and then I think I might work on the nether just a little bit. Lawless built each of these. So, in exploring spawn here as we were digging it out, we came across monster spawners. So in here is a skeleton spawner, right? So we built a skeleton head. And then when you're in here, they'll automatically spawn and get killed, and you can harvest all their stuff. All from skeletons. Stand on stone and stab skeletons. They're one punch kills. You got it set up that they will fall the right height to here and be killable. Assuming it's working. Hello, skeleton. Where are you? Oh, there they are. So it took a whole lot of fall damage, and he calculated that that's the maximum that they can fall. So you get XP, and their stuff gets collected. And that all goes into his collection system. And you can see, like, there's a hopper here, puts it into there, and then those hoppers put them into these chests, and then these chests. So it all trickles down, and you don't have to sort through it. Right? Like if I take something out of here, it gets filled up with other stuff. Too simple. And if you want, you can repair your stuff while you do this. Like, hey, look, my elytra's not all messed up anymore. Okay, so the spawners you come across, of course, are skeleton, zombie, and spider spawners. Right? That's what each of these are. Same idea, but a zombie and a spider. You will notice underneath this bridge there is a single block right here. That's another zombie spawner that we haven't touched. Like it's blocked off so that nothing spawns out of it. But it's a zombie spawner. And in the future, I'm thinking just like how that's a zombie killer, we can make that spawn zombies, drown the zombies, and then it becomes a drowned farm. Instead of zombies, it's drowned. Anyway, hasn't been done, but it's just a thought. And rather than destroy it, well, it's there with a torch on top. Like, oh, see the zombie spawner? Gosh, this was a pain in the butt to dig out. But now I've got so many stone resources. So what I did when I was digging, right, is close to the center, I built a chute. And at the bottom of the chute was a platform with hoppers, right? So you throw something off the side of a cliff and it goes down the platform and the hoppers get it. And then there's a line of hoppers that went into the item storage system that I built. Right? So the items come in to the hopper line and then it gets sucked all the way down the line, right? And the redstone will pull out whichever item belongs there. But, okay, so this one is diorite, right? Any diorite that goes through this system, this column will pull out diorite. This column will pull out granite. This column pulls out andesite, and so on for all of the different materials. So like this one is just packed full of cobbled deep slate. Right? And if I want deep slate, look, deep slate. Oh, cobbled deep slate. Oh, look, cobbled deep slate. Tough? Yeah, we got lots of tough. Andesite? Yep. And so on. Now, not all of them are packed full. Like flint, there's some flint, but there's very little compared to, you know, cobbled deep slate. Oh, cobbled deep slate. Oh, cobbled deep slate. Cobbled deep slate. And then, let's say there's 10 chests for each of these, I think. But let's say your 10 double chests got filled, like cobbled deep slate did. So the hopper line comes down and around, and you can set up more things if you want. Like acacia logs. Well, there's only some in there. There's not much. Right, and then it comes around like, hey, redstone dust. There was so much redstone dust I compacted it into blocks. Or like diamonds, deep slate diamond ore. Yeah, there's lots of deep slate diamond ore. What about just diamonds? Yeah, there's lots of diamonds, right? Or like, oh, you need deep slate lapis lazuli ore. Yeah, we got a bunch of that too. And so on and so on and so on and so on and so on. Like copper, yeah, there's lots of copper. Or deep slate copper. Or raw copper. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So when after the line comes through, it still comes over this way. Then into the overflow room. Right? So there's so much deep slate copper or deep slate cobblestone or whatever else, right? This is all just extra, and like that deep slate, cobble deep slate, okay, and that I will take to the end dimension and put good use to as I build my tower. But there's lots and lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of materials. This is all the overflow excess. And this is all sorted. So one mistake was made with this, and that was this storage system. This is not the way to do chests. I made a short about the correct way to do chests, and you have to zigzag them. If you don't zigzag them, if I take stuff out of this chest, the stuff above it won't automatically filter in. The stuff behind it in the hoppers will, but not above. If you zigzag snake them down, then everything always gets pushed through the entire system down to the bottom chest. And yeah, there's obsidian there too. The only drawback to this system is that it'll only work for items that can stack to 64. Individual tools, not going to work. Ender pearls that stack to 16 doesn't work. It has to stack to 64 for this redstone system. There's other ways to do it, but for this system, it's a 64 stacker. Everything here is stackable to 64. Red sand, yeah, not much, but sand, yeah, a little bit more, because we made a lot of glass. Sandstone, yeah, we got that too. Oh, you need some flint. Oh, you need dripstone blocks? Yeah, there's lots of those. Pointed dripstone? Yeah, there's some, but there's also a dripstone farm. Clay? Yeah, we got a little bit of clay. Netherrack? Oh, we got lots of netherrack, man. Anyway. So you just see a wall. But behind the wall, in one of these boxes, I'm pretty sure that the Ark of the Covenant was stored. I put it in the trust of good men to put away. I think they put it in one of the chests. Oh, look. Dirty bugs. You are not welcome here. Be gone. Okay, so I mentioned I like stairs that go all the way up, right? So there is a staircase that goes to the surface if required. But we're not taking the stairs, we're taking the elevator. That's the mid-level, that's the enchanter level, and that's the top floor. Okay. Probably grab some more arrows while I'm at it. So, and stone, yeah, and stuff. $50 wither skeleton skulls if we ever need more beacons. This is kind of a communal store. We used to have members that wanted to buy and sell things. So that's when I started the McSquare's fair trade, and my policy was take whatever you want from this place, pay whatever you think is fair, pay goes into these chests. Pretty simple. And that was long ago. We give each other whatever each other needs. The buy and sell people have left the server. And so I made it like a department store. Iron, bamboo, skulk, prismarine, wool, honey, cinnabar. So when you come through, it's a correspond. The map corresponds. Like, you are here. Iron there. That's iron. Next to iron is bamboo. Yeah, it's the bamboo room, right? Oh, you need bamboo? Well, here you go. Oh, you want bamboo blocks? Got those too. Skulk room. Including, you want skulk shriekers? Yeah, there's some there. Skulk sensors? Yeah, there's a bunch. Skulk? Oh yeah, we got lots of skulk. And so on and so on. Prismarine. Sea lanterns? Yeah, we got sea lanterns. Well, pick a color. The color display matches the color labeling. And there's honey. I used up most of the honey. There's not much. But those honey elevators, man. And that's a map, just the opposite, flipped around. And then up here, we got the Cinnabar and the Sulfur when that was released. And then this just happens to be my... Oh, I moved it. I used to have chests and signs in there to build more store areas. Okay, gotta put away some potions, some iron, grab some arrows. Bit of a resupply. Spares. Like, from going to the end all the time, right? It's got all kinds of junk. Like, do you need a sword, an axe, or a pickaxe, or a spear? Or something else? And they're all, like, just lots of stuff. Shulkers. These are just boxes ready to grab. Like, I should have one on me. Oh, and of course that's got more diamond stuff. Let's put that in the spares. That's so much diamond, enchanted diamond. Care to go to the end? Don't mind if we do. So I can't get heartbroken if I die and lose my stuff. I've got lots more. And of course, I've told the other players everything is free grabs. If you see anything you need, just take it. They've gotten to the point where they don't need much anymore, but once in a while, like, do you have any conduits? Why, yes I do. Go to warehouse number 2B, look at the bottom shelves. Workstations. Never know when you're going to need the brewing stand, so we'll add it to the 25 brewing stands, because you just don't know when you need one. Even rotten flesh. Oh, what are you going to use rotten flesh for? Well, you can use it to level up clerics. You can use it to breed dogs. Rotten flesh isn't garbage. Someday I might need 2 of those rotten flesh, and I've got 700 just in case. Okay, potions of healing. Interesting thing. Splash potions of healing. Healing and harm work opposite on undead monsters. So like skeletons and zombies and wither skeletons. If you throw harm on them, it heals them. And if you put healing on them, it harms them. So technically, you could have an arrow of healing that does extra damage to undead. Well, you never know when you need a lead, or a saddle, or a slime. This is just from killing hoglins in the nether. But it's a good food source. Okay, fireworks. So we have a gunpowder farm, right? So like got some gunpowder, right? However, gunpowder, which we use to make rockets. And the gunpowder comes from the gunpowder farm. Okay, this area here is just a raid farm for fighting raids and killing them and taking their stuff. Crazy Savage made it. Oh, there it is. That up there is a gunpowder farm. This is an ominous potion bottle farm, right? The guys automatically get killed and collected there. Okay, I'm not gonna run it. But this is set up that only creepers spawn. See the creeper? Right? Creeper. And that will just continuously spawn creepers, right? Nothing else. And they all get collected, and then they can all be killed. See the power line? And now they're all dying, right? You can hear the trident killers going off. See the tridents and the trapdoors. Anyway, they're killing the creepers that come in. And then the gunpowder gets all collected. Shut that off. And you could AFK right here and just let the bloody thing run. And if you do that, you will get lots and lots of gunpowder, and gunpowder, and gunpowder, right? And again, this is the incorrect way to do storage. That's not the right way. That will put everything into chests, but when you zigzag it, it pushes it all to the bottom chest, which is what you want. And if you wanted to, what we should do is after the bottom chest, we should have one more hopper sticking out. And then anytime you stick a shulker box underneath the hopper, it will automatically fill up the hopper for you and you won't have to even click through it. Isn't that a good idea? And when you're done, you just smash your shulker box and take it with you and off you go. But it's not set up for maximum efficiency that way, for collecting. It's just set up to give, oh look at all the creepers. Goodbye, creepers. Look at them. They're just dead. Give us your gunpowder. Doink, 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 doink. Collected into the chutes. He could have capped it, but he likes that they fly up in the air. And then they're in the chests. Oh, look, more. Boink. That is pretty fun, just that they fly up in the air. So yeah, a late game farm, gunpowder for sure. You need gunpowder for all your rockets. And of course, the farm that should be underneath that, I would say, should be the sugarcane. Because sugarcane's how you make paper. And paper plus gunpowder equals rocket. Okay, I was unloading gunpowder. Because I don't really need to carry any with me. But that also includes if you want to make dynamite to do dynamite mining. Well, we got lots of gunpowder. Gunpowder is also how you turn a potion into a splash potion. Lots of uses. And splash potions, well, they're useful. That's how I do my experience point farm. And these are my gunpowder supplies. For splash potions for the infestation, right? Okay, there's only room for one in there, so we won't do it. But I would brew up more. These are the different components that you need to brew them. And tridents for trident killers. Have I ever shown you this thing in action? It's so overpowered it will lag the server. But it's fun. Okay. So the way trident killers work is that whoever throws the trident gets credit for the kill. So you can kill monsters, but they won't drop XP unless the person that throws the trident is online. And every time there's an update, sometimes the tridents disappear. So I like to just put the tridents away and make players throw their own tridents out. They all know how this works. So you would just go over to the trident box, grab 6 tridents, right? Throw them onto those blocks and open it. I have a spawn switch and a kill switch. You see the tridents, right? And the trapdoors. Right? They were thrown, hit there. They've fallen. It's still, the game's still going, hey, you threw a trident, it hasn't hit its target yet. And they're kind of resting on those trapdoors. Now listen. Every ting is a trident registering an attack. Okay? So that's how we're going to kill what comes next. And we can turn that on and off whenever we like. It's just a pulse generator. So spawn, right? Spawn, there are some armadillos here. And the armadillos, when they get close to a zombie, there's zombies at the top here. Ah, shite. Okay. So, as I was saying, there's zombies in the top, right? The zombies cause the armadillos that are right underneath them to become scared. And you see I've got a redstone line here that goes to a sticky piston in the middle. When I pull this switch, two things happen, right? That line activates the dispenser. So splash potion of infestation. Every time the armadillos, because it's going to splash the armadillos, and I think there's like 3 or 4 of them in there. Every time they take damage, they will spawn a silverfish. The zombies cause the armadillos to curl up in their protective ball, right? The piston will push them onto this cactus. So every second they're going to take damage, but because they're in an armored ball, they're taking 0 damage every second. 0 damage, 0 damage, 0 damage, 0 damage, and every time they take damage, it's going to spit out a silverfish. And here's the fun part. Okay, so I got damaged equipment, right? And we're going to get experience points. So look, spawn. These guys have been pushed onto the cactus and they're getting hurt, and spawning, right? And then try and kill them. Oh, we're lagging already. Okay, I got it. There's so many in there that it's lagging. Okay, it's turned on. I can hear it killing. Now, when I'm not streaming, it doesn't lag. It works just fine. But because I've got OBS turned on in the stream, watch my XP bar. Okay, I'm just going to step away because of the lag. But when I come back, it's still going to keep going. Okay, see that I'm level 30? At the bottom, right above my tools. Okay, it's causing way too much lag right now. We're just going to turn this off and let it catch up. Well, it's lagging a lot right now. aspect ratio is zoomed in. Okay. So how would I address that? Scenes, transitions, sources, controls, properties maybe? Okay. I'm not sure how to address that at this moment. But trust me, it just fixes all my tools and equipment. Right, everything's all fixed up. And I'm level 58. And if I was standing there for the whole duration of the whole thing, I think it takes me to like level 100 and something. Yeah. Anyway, when I'm not streaming, it works fine. Anyway, this is probably my favorite build because it feeds me all the experience I need just to keep me going. All my enchanting and everything's like, oh, I need experience points. Not a problem. Oh, my electric's broken. Not a problem. And that's the magic mushroom. That's also why you'll notice in my videos, I tend to do a bunch of stuff and then I cut to later on. Because any opportunity I have to do the majority of my building with everything turned off is an advantage. That's not a lot of glass. Okay, have I shown you my airship? I think I might have. Again, it's... Oh no, it's not loading, that's the way it looks. So you see we got a big engine on each side. And all the controls are actually in the cockpit and they work. So there's an engine on each side, there's some landing lights, there's a happy gas in the back, sort of like a lifeboat. I'm not playing with mods to make stuff move. My gosh, that's so many blocks. To turn that into a flying machine, forget about it. Okay. I must have shown you the nether on at least one occasion. But this is another grind and a half of a project. Oh, that's what I can show you. So I told you I made an adventure once, right? Where I sent the other players to go and retrieve some LAs and fight a bunch of pillager bases. Well, at certain cardinal points, I made an entrance to the nether with a nice highway to get home. Sort of like a save point or a waypoint along the way. If you take a boat, this is way faster. But you can see in the nether here, that's 600 blocks. 600 blocks in the overworld is 4,800 blocks. So there, we've traveled about 5,000 blocks away. And then when I go through here, it'll take you to one of the key spots on their adventure. I mentioned to you before that you can link compasses to lodestones. This was one of their destinations along the way. This is the Temple of Night. So what happens at the Temple of Night is that at nighttime, and they couldn't figure this out, that something happens at nighttime, creakings spawn. I put a bunch of creaking hearts in the ground, and when they find the creaking hearts, there were compasses that take them to the next location. Right? So wait for nighttime, find the creaking hearts, and that gets you to the next stage of the adventure. They couldn't figure that out. I had to tell them. But loading. Once it's loading. So in the travels between, the end location is at a woodland mansion. And this is basically the midway point. At the midway point, I found a jungle temple. And the jungle temple, I just colored it up and designed it a bit so that it was a point of interest along the way. Oh, come on. There we go. So there you can see there's a jungle temple. And I just decorated it up a bit and gave it a portal. You can hear some monsters in the jungle. A lot of creepers spawn here. This face is just that they know that they're in the right place. From the direction they come, they would have came to this dock. And there's a witch inside and some clues. The witch might be dead by now. Nope, there's the witch right there. I stuck her in there. Okay. That hole is where one of the creaking hearts was. And to make sure that they found them, I put 6 creaking hearts out here, and I think they found 2 of them. So there's still, at nighttime, 4 creakings will pop out of the woods and say hello. And if you find their heart, it'll take you to a compass that takes you to the next location. And that's all this place was about. And some useless dialogue and logs and stuff. So the next place they went was to a port where a ship is docked. And of course the ship had more information about where to go next. And it was just a bunch of locations along the way to get them to go 10,000 blocks away, where they would find LAs and bring the LAs home, and then I didn't have to make the LAs travel 10,000 blocks. Instead, I just had to make like 6 different bases along the way. Okay, I'm pretty sure this is the island. It's just got to load up. So on this island here was a pillager outpost, and I tore down the pillager outpost but kept its spawn location. You can see its sails over there, but kept its spawn location so that it's like this ship is spawning pirates, and what it is a redecorated pillager outpost. Just a simple little dock and ship along the way. Again, just keeping the players moving, not building too much, but keeping it simple. Right, the old pillager head. Yeah, you're in the right place for the quest. And because everything's made out of wood and wool, I had to add freaking lightning rods. And you can see pillagers spawn here. And they didn't even save the LA that's in the cage here. So the great thing about this is as they're investigating, more guys will spawn, right? And on that map, I had a book with the little guy saying, help me, heroes, help me. Like my villagers were captured by they didn't save this guy either. My people were like captured by the pillagers, please save them. And then inside here with this cartographer, in one of his boxes was a map to where you gotta go. And you can see the books on the bookshelf. There's freaking stupid storyline being written up there. Oh, guys are spawning. Alright. They took the captain's spyglass from upstairs, and this is just their... They didn't even take the loot that I put here. Ship log. All kinds of loot, but they didn't take it. It's like if you look at the ship log by the Ghost original. No, ship log, it's encoded, blah 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 blah. And many more undecipherable pages. That's all it is. So really it's just a decoration. And pillagers will destroy beds, so that's my improvised bed because they'll wreck actual beds. And down in the hole, okay, who's shooting me? Okay, so you got this is the lodestone that the compasses will bring them to. And that's just decoration again, a spyglass. And if they wanted to, they can go down below in the hold and just, you know, get them a decorated ship. Who's shooting now? And just appropriate frickin' junk in there. Arrows and crossbows and wool supplies, you know, junk. The barrels have nothing at all. But the chest did. You know, junk. But just stuff to, hey, you know, you're not building today, you're actually on a bit of a adventure. And at the end of it, they got LAs. In total, I think there was 6 locations like this for them to go to. I just showed you 2 of them. You probably saw the other location that is right close to the starting base. That was just to start them on this adventure. You know, give it a little bit of a storyline and send them on their way. And they had fun. It's funny, I think it took me a week, maybe 2 weeks to do everything. And they smashed it in less than 2 hours. But they had fun. I count it as a success. So this was the midway save point. There were a couple more bases for them to see along the way, like the ship, and there's also a weapons armory. And then that would take them to the end base, which is just a woodland mansion. But in the woodland mansion, I dumped an extra 50 monsters. Yeah, it gives you a purpose to your wandering around in the world. There's actually things that you're looking for. So we'll continue on. Loading. Screen's loading. I should build a boat while I'm at this. Next time I'm on the surface, I'll build a boat, because that's totally what these ice highways are designed for. And I left them a boat as well, so that when they came down here, they could just zoom back, get more rockets or whatever else they needed. Now them, being super paranoid, they did this adventure in full netherite armor with all the different potions they needed and super duper weapons, you know, and totems. Like, they had fun, and they came close to popping a totem once, but they never actually died. But I knew that they were going to come in overpowered. So I had to beef up the defenses of the final base to make it interesting. And so in the woodland mansion, I dumped an extra 50 pillager mobs. And I did that by building a raid farm above the woodland mansion. And then as the monsters dropped from the raid farm, I would name tag them and then activate a water fountain that would drop the monsters safely into the mansion. They wouldn't despawn because they were name tagged. But then they had more than just a couple of monsters to deal with. Okay, that's a stray LA from their adventure. Now, keeping in mind the rule of 8, every block that you move in the nether is 8 blocks in the overworld. We've traveled over 10,000 blocks one direction and about 6,400 blocks another direction. And we're not there yet. So I had to give them points of interest along the way to keep them interested. Okay, we can see the The portal's loading in. We're getting closer. And this whole tunnel is mob safe. So I use the Jericho. This will take us to the throne room that they had to go to. And then the end of the quest was just smash the named guys. I had a evoker with a name tag on him that was said, I don't even remember what his name was, but that was the guy they had to get rid of. And they rescued a bunch of LAs. That was it. But the cool thing about it is that they were able to get it all done in one session. Okay. So this here, you see the building style of the Woodland Mansion. I just copied it to make this add-on extension. Right, and built the throne room. They didn't take the treasures. I left them a bunch of stuff. They didn't take it. There's all kinds of books. There is some storyline in some of the books. They did go through them all. And that was, I had this room open, but the named guy they had to get rid of was in this area. And they went, "What's this glass stuff in that?" And I told them, "Ignore this part here. That glass is just because of the raid farm I had to put above. This is where I dropped 50 extra monsters for them to fight." And then down in the bottom of the mansion is, I don't know what's going on here. They made some holes. I'm not going to worry about it. Not going to worry about it. Okay. Whoops. So on the roof of the mansion, yeah, there's my bed that I was. This was all administrative, right? Just ignore this, players. That's a raid farm. Right. So we go up there. This was my safe way up and down. That I didn't have to fly and try and hit one ledge. It was fun for me as a creator, and it was also good for them. Okay, so you can see there, we were in the middle of a raid up here, which is good because I can show you how the raid farm works. Right. So there is a villager right above my head. You can see his red little body. Right? And it drops all the guys in here. I can name tag them. Right? And after I name tag them, there is a chute here. You see the pistons? Right? I can turn on water. So we got water flow now. That's pushing them all to the side. If I open the doors, now imagine that I name tagged them first, right? So they'd be name tagged and then pushed, They go down the fountain, and then they're added to the woodland mansion below. Right? Now they've gone far enough away from the villager that they can just do the next level of the raid. So I don't even have to kill them all. Oh, good night, Misty. I didn't have to kill them all. Thank you for sharing time with me, Misty. You guys are awesome. Then I name tag the next batch and send them on their way. You can also see that the floor of that area is actually hoppers, which allows me to collect whatever's in there that I kill off. And this water fountain here was just my safe way up and down out of this thing. So those guys got dropped down the water fountain into that glass reservoir below. And you can see they're running around down there. They're still alive. There's an LA in there too. Jeez. Anyway, so I dumped just a ton of monsters in there for them to fight. I want to turn the water off and then I'll head back to my base. But when they came here, it's like, what's all this glass stuff? I'm like, just ignore that. That's just an administrative function. You can see they're stuck partway in there. If I did it over again, I wouldn't use glass panes, I'd use glass blocks. I think they got stuck because I used glass panes. So that shuts the water off. You can see the water tube is emptying. Going down, down, down. And those guys, for whatever reason, they're swimming to the top of the water. Now they'll despawn because they're not name tagged. But if they were name tagged, there they are. More guys for the players to have to deal with. Then off they go. Okay. Ha. I'll take those with me. When they came to the fortress, they just set up some beds before they went inside. Because, hey, look, that's the fortress. That's the one they gotta go into. And I was going to make a boat. Have you seen how fast you travel on a nice highway? Oh, okay, you gotta go. Hey, Ron, Thanks for sharing your time with me. I'll see you around. Kapow! Boat on an ice highway is so fast. Okay, so there's the ice highway. Put a boat down and watch the distance counter fly. And that's 800 blocks. Oh, that's 600 blocks. And 600 more. Well, I think I'm going to call that an end to the stream there. For everyone that joined me, thank you very much. Big shout out to Ron and Misty Wayne. Thank you for your positive support. You guys are awesome. And next Monday. I think next Monday we'll start working on that musical fountain. Musical animated light show fountain. That should be fun. Well, hope to see you all later. Putting out an episode this Wednesday and streaming on Mondays. Till next time. Bye bye.